Welcome back to Gem and Cozy. I thought I'd bring you guys along to pack some orders, catch up, and talk about my recent little trip to see the total eclipse. Let's get started. So there was a total eclipse that ran across North America on Monday. I believe that was April 8th. And a few days before that, maybe like almost a week prior, my boyfriend and I were talking, and we knew about the eclipse from earlier this year, but a lot of stuff has happened, and we were really bummed that we weren't able to like fly out to go see it. It was kind of like us thinking, it's not in the cards. There's no way we can book a flight. The flights are like $500 at this point, that sort of thing. And then I did some research, and I was like, you know what? I think we could just drive north of Atlanta and just go all the way to the border of Kentucky and into Illinois, and there is a national park there. It's Shawnee National Forest, and that was like right in the middle of the like area of totality where you would see a 99% total eclipse, that sort of thing. So I was like, you know what, let's just go for it, because it kind of felt like we really needed something like that. We planned it really last minute. Normally we need to find like someone who can watch our dog, and it's a whole thing, but this time we just decided, let's just take Safi and see how it goes. Like, she hasn't been on a road trip before, but she's always been really good in the car, so we gave it a shot and just went for it. It was actually really spontaneous, which almost never happens because we have a dog and we care a lot about like how she is watched, and we want to make sure she's comfortable. So it's always been really stressful for us to travel because we always want her to feel comfortable first and foremost. So it actually felt much better that she was able to come with us, and she absolutely loved it. She didn't get car sick or anything, and every 2 hours or so we found a local park to take her to so that she could just exercise and hang out. And then it was great for us because we also got a little break, and the walking really helped to kind of, I feel like, relax my body in between all the driving. Well, I think Safi wants to play. Look how cool this tree is. Good girl, Safi. Good girl. There it goes. So it worked out really well. Of course, it was like such a short-term little drive, like really quick 2-day trip sort of situation, but it just kind of gave me the little break and almost like reinvigorating experience that I think I needed, because work has been really, unfortunately, burning me out. I kind of think I'm going through a weird growth phase with Gem and Cozy, and it's been exciting but also very stressful because I all of a sudden have more demands on me. I'm having to order more things, I'm having to keep up with packing on a scale that I've never had to, and I had a surge of orders over the past month or so, I guess month and a half even at this point, and it's been awesome, but trying to sustain that is really tough because I kind of don't know, is it sustainable? I had to pause for a second because I ran out of my little seal stickers. So this is a little basic design that I'm printing on my thermal label printer, and I just print like 100 at a time, and I love listening to it come out of the printer. There it goes. I have a little packing station with all of my mailers and envelopes, and then I just roll up the stickers that I print and peel them off to put on my little envelopes. I feel like it adds a little extra touch of branding, but it's very inexpensive and easy, and I can also switch out the design I just draw something cute that says special delivery with Gem and Cozy on it. I got very sidetracked there because I couldn't seal this until I printed more stickers, so yeah. I'm about to pack this massive order for Jenny, who said that they're ordering for their local nurse practitioner's office, which is really cool. It's 43 items, so let's get this started while I chat with you guys. So if you guys are new here, I've been running my stationery shop from an in-home little office studio, and I've had Gem and Cozy for about a little over 2 years now, so it's been pretty good in terms of consistency. I feel like I had a really great start, and the momentum has not dropped off, you know, significantly or anything. I kind of know on average like what I'm gonna make every month, even on my slower months. So that's been really, really nice, because obviously being a creative, being an artist is really scary, and you just kind of never know how things are gonna go with the economy or just with anything. So luckily things have been very steady for me, and I think a big part of that is because I'm constantly making new inventory, as you guys can see. So I think that worked to my benefit greatly. But now I'm kind of at this point where I feel like I have so many products, and I have a lot of ideas for more products, bigger projects, things that are going to be more time consuming, that's going to take up more space in my little office. So I'm kind of going through like what's next, basically. 4, 5, 6. Sorry, I had to count while I was talking, and I can't do both at the same time. I love that, 7 qualified nurse stickers. So yeah, I think I'm just thinking out loud with you guys, to be honest, and I think that's one of my favorite things about making long form content. It kind of feels like really cathartic talking about where I'm at and just chatting, and knowing that you guys can see my process and behind the scenes at a slower pace. Yeah, so with everything for Gem and Cozy, like right now, I think I've just been able to prioritize packing as much as possible, and that also slows me down because I have less drawing time, and I'm having to juggle so many different demands, and the demands are growing since I have more orders right now, and then I also have more projects. I have a monthly stationery club on Patreon, so it's kind of a lot all the time. And again, like, that's really good, but for one person to try to manage, that's really hard. And then I feel like the line of work I'm in, it's kind of hard to give my work to someone else. So yeah, that's just me giving you real talk. I feel like a lot of business owners who have been doing something for several years may seem like they kind of have everything together, but I certainly don't, and there's always new stuff to learn, so I'm just rolling with it. And I think a lot of people ask me about business advice all the time, and I'm kind of like, honestly, it's gonna look different for everyone. We're all on very different paths and experiences. I happen to be at a point right now where I feel like I'm trying to figure all of this out and figure out what I can maintain, and if what I'm doing right now is sustainable as a single person business, how much help I'm gonna need, and kind of long term, like, what this business is gonna look like. I have no idea. I'm adding in these freebies for Jenny's order, little minis. They got so many goodies, so let me pack this up. That was kind of tricky to pack. It's so bulky. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of going in circles, but experiencing that feeling of, okay, like, it's been really chaotic, it's been really busy. Is that what it's gonna look like moving forward? I don't really know. So going back to our little total eclipse trip, We had a really nice time, even though it was a lot of driving. We basically drove about 6 hours past Tennessee so that we could get an Airbnb in Clarksville, Tennessee, and that area was a little bit quieter because it's a smaller town, and it was perfect because it was about a 2-hour drive, a 1.5-hour drive away from the park in Illinois that we wanted to go to. And I wasn't sure if there was going to be a lot of traffic with the total eclipse, but luckily the area that we stayed in was residential and it was really quiet, so it worked out really well. And we got to stop by some places on the way to eat. We're on a boat. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This was the most unexpected little ferry ride. That's crazy. It just went dark so quickly.
Bottom of it, you see like a bright spot?
Uh-huh. And all kind of on the top left too.
That's all around.
Oh my gosh. Wow. The only downfall of traveling with our dog was that we didn't feel comfortable dining in at places and leaving her in the car. So we usually just take out food and then like we eat in the car. I know that there are people who are comfortable with leaving their dog in the car. We just don't do that unless we are like locally in our area, and let's say like we have to go into a grocery store to buy like one thing. I'm comfortable with that if I am going to be in and out really quickly, but it just made me feel kind of weary because it's like we don't know the areas we're driving into, and if you're eating it takes a lot longer, and I really didn't want her to just like sit there and feel anxious. But it worked out pretty well, especially because it was raining on the way home, so we were able to kind of just order things, eat in the car, move on. We tried fried catfish in Clarksville, which was actually really good, and the place was really busy. We went to Catfish House and got their sides, which were very, I think, classic to that area. It's like fried okra, I think they have fried pickles, that kind of stuff.
It comes with coleslaw, but they asked what kind, and now vinegar.
Ooh. Yeah. And everything was really good. I always like to try to eat food that is kind of like special to that area whenever I can, whenever I'm traveling. You're the only 10 I see. I like the boots. So that was a lot of fun, and then we did try hot chicken while we were in Tennessee, but the place we wanted to go to was, I think, pretty famous. It's called Big Al's. I think it was Big Al's like cafe. I forget, there's like a third word to it, but they're really famous for a lot of their like southern cooking. But sadly their hours were incorrect on their website, so when we got there it wasn't open and we couldn't stay longer because we had to drive back on a certain schedule. So we ended up getting biscuits and fried chicken from another place that had good reviews called Biscuit Love Mulch. But the food was pretty good. We had to eat it in the car, and then we went to Centennial Park, which is also in downtown Nashville. And at this point it was already raining a lot, but luckily it had kind of like stopped for a little bit. It was drizzling, so we got to walk Safi, and then they have this like replica of the Parthenon there. I don't know why, but it's a museum, which is pretty cool. And then on the way home we started to read or listen to an audiobook. It was so random because I don't have an account with like a premium account with Spotify, and we were on the road for a while, so we were like, okay, maybe we should get a 1-month trial so that we can listen to more music, because we were in and out of like different areas, so the radio kept cutting in and out. So we did that, but then I got tired of listening to the same playlists, so we checked out the audiobook section, and they had a bunch of books that were part of their, I guess, subscription, and we found Ready Player One. I was driving at the time, so my boyfriend just picked it out because it was recommended, and it's actually really interesting. We got pretty far. I think we're on like chapter 13 now. I'm gonna switch to quality checking some notepads because I restocked a bunch that were really low in stock, including the Take Your Meds one, which was kind of a trial run because I wasn't sure how they were gonna do. So I'm really excited to bring them back. So yeah, so Ready Player One is about, it's like a futuristic book, and it takes place in a time where basically like the world is really, really poor, but technology is pretty advanced. So there's a lot of, how would I describe it? Basically, the like virtual reality space is really advanced, and this man who created the technology around it, basically, so before he died, he decided to put his inheritance into like this game where basically anyone can find this egg and win like billions of dollars, which was all of his money. So all these people are trying to figure it out, but the man who designed it, everything was like based off of his interests from his childhood. So all these people need to get really, really invested in all of the things he was interested in from the 80s. So it's a pretty cool throwback, and I could totally see a lot of people who grew up in that time period enjoying all the references and like the movies and the games that are talked about. And basically it follows this high school boy and his journey of trying to find this egg and win this entire competition. I don't want to spoil anything. What I find really interesting about it is like where the technology took them, and kind of how like everyone is behind a screen and they have these avatars that can talk to each other, so you don't even have to meet someone face to face to date or become friends. And I find that really fascinating because I feel like it's pretty relevant to our society right now. So really cool concept. It's very well written, and the audiobook is really funny. The way that it's read is really good. I have this theory that sticky notes that have gradient backgrounds tend to have a harder time printing. I don't know, I feel like that's where I get the streaks from, but for some reason sometimes they print okay and then other times they don't, which is pretty common. But because of that, I kind of steer away from gradients lately. The designs that already have gradients, like the Trying My Best Shooting Star, I left it alone. But with some of my newer designs, I've been picking solid colors to see if that makes it easier to print. I have no idea. It keeps happening with my Keep It Spicy notepad because it's an orange gradient. And I wonder if it's from the gradient, because if this was just solid orange, maybe that wouldn't have shown up. I have so many more of these cover pages now, and people are still asking for them during checkout, which is really fun. I'm just about done quality checking everything. Thanks so much for keeping me company, you guys, and I'll catch you next time.